Levi here, the Outdoor Cowboy, and welcome back to the Outdoor Cowboy YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be going on a hike to explore an abandoned gold mine. We're going to be hiking up here to check out the structure, talking about the history of it, and seeing what's left. So let's go exploring and saddle up for the ride. Well, welcome to the abandoned Adelman gold mine. We hiked just a couple miles and just made it here. And as you can see, it has collapsed since it was abandoned. So we can get a little closer and see that there's not even really a hole anymore. You could maybe try to snake back in there, but probably not a great idea with how much it's already collapsed. So the mine itself is obviously collapsed. You're not able to go in there, which is okay. Abandoned mines are scary to go in anyways. But we can see the rails right here that the mine carts would come out of. And they'd come off this edge. You can see the rails that just kind of go off over to that structure over there, which is where all the ore went. So we'll hike up a little more and go check that thing out. But pretty cool to see it. And the story of this mine goes that a businessman with the last name Adelman, which is where the mine gets its name from, built this mine after a strain of gold was found in there. About 1905, 1910, the history of when it exactly got made isn't super clear. And they mostly found gold, but they also found some silver and some zinc as well. But apparently after 2 or 3 decades of mining, the strain kind of ran out and they started to just get dirty ore. And so it wasn't really worth it anymore to keep mining the area because it took more work than it was worth to get out. So that's kind of when the mine got abandoned. I think some people still come up in this area and mine by hand for gold, but the major mining operation that originally started the mine was no longer. And then sometime in the past 100 years it collapsed, and it is what it is today, but there's still some cool buildings up here. So just a little bit up the trail from the mine is one of their storage sheds, which I'm not sure exactly what it is, but let's check it out on the inside. Just lots of stuff in there, big concrete wall back there, roof still standing. Bunch of junk, mostly from just people coming up here and dumping stuff, which is unfortunate, but some of it is left from the mine. Different hoses and different machines and stuff that they probably used back in the day that it wasn't worth taking down. So pretty cool for the storage shed. Now let's hike over to the main building that we saw and go check it out. So we come up top here and here's the big structure that we saw. The mine's over there and then the building's just a little bit further that way, but pretty cool. So let's go check it out. Here's the main room of the structure. Really cool, some of the machines and stuff still here. Some of these big wheels, which I imagine were like a counterweight or something to just help move stuff. I imagine they spun. And then this lower level down there too. Bunch of boards and stuff of things that have fallen down. And you can see up there on one of the rafters there's a big old bird's nest. That's pretty cool. Could be some sort of eagle. There's eagles around here, or some sort of falcon as well. So pretty cool to see. Glad they found a nice home. Really cool structure up there. You can see the gears and stuff that this thing used to go up and down. I think you used to open that hatch and that's where some of the ore would come out. And then it'd come to the rest of this room just to be purified, packed up, and head back down the mountain. Coming over here, there's a staircase that heads down to that lower level, which I would not trust. You can see some of the rocks down there have taken out the lower steps of the stairs, but big table down there with all the stuff on it. Probably stored a bunch of stuff down there, but really cool. I'm not sure exactly where the carts came from the mine. We saw the mine had like rails that kind of just went off the mountain. I haven't found exactly where they come into here. It might be above us because there's another room up there we'll go check out. But I imagine they pushed the carts out and just kind of went downhill a little bit over that little valley and brought it over here. Probably just the best way to kind of purify what you have and get it ready to head back down the mountain. Walking up here on the side, it's super cool just to see the wood, just the age it has. Obviously some are a little newer and have been replaced, but these old ones are just super cool. Have a lot of personality, and I'm sure they've seen a lot and have a lot of really cool stories to tell, but just beautiful view. Let's go check out some other rooms. You can see some of the metal corroded away on the side. And then here's the first room. I have no idea what this was. Maybe it was the outhouse, just a little tiny room, but pretty cool. The birds are definitely living it up in here. So we look up there. It's cool to see some of the bolts holding it all together, and that's the top room up there. We'll go up there and check that out. Cool old hinges holding the door together. Here's a big old tank of some sort. Looks like some sort of water tank or something. Not sure what it is, but really cool. And then we will go to this room right above us and go check it out. I imagine back in the day when it was built, this was a little easier to get to because the walkway's kind of gone now. Up in this cool building. This one's still in pretty good shape, but really cool to see the wood. That's down where we were, just in that room, and just a really cool view out there. Doesn't get much better than that. Not sure where this door led to, other than a 10-foot drop, but I'm sure they had something back in the day. So up here's that top room we were talking about, which we are on top of that room we were in down there. Have these boards to walk across, which are definitely a little sketchy. But I do have to make a disclaimer that I do not recommend exploring anything like this, even though I'm doing it. Abandoned and old structures like this can be super unsteady. You never know when they're gonna break or fall, so do so at your own risk and just be really smart, because it'd be bad to have this thing collapse while I'm on it or anything like that. So we just gotta be super careful, make sure stuff is sturdy before we do any of it. So here we are up in that top room, which that's kind of what with the top of what we saw we were in that main one. Here's a grate that was probably used to filter out some of the ore, some of the smaller stuff. They probably dumped it up here at the top, and as it slid down, it filtered some of the smaller stuff out through the cracks. So basically anything that would fit through the cracks would fall through. Anything that was too big would slide down. It's similar to how like some gold sluice machines work, just to separate different size particles or different weights of materials. They'd go through stuff like this. So that's what I'm guessing this is for. And then it probably went down there, which is kind of into that room we're in below, and probably was filtered somehow. Obviously we can see that stuff was hooked onto these bolts and was taken off, and probably there's a lot of stuff missing that they used in their operations that was probably valuable enough to take. But obviously some of this stuff would have been super hard and heavy to take down, so they just abandoned it and it wasn't worth it. And when you're walking around, you got to be super careful with nails and stuff poking up like that, especially for old stuff. Probably gonna have rust on it, so make sure to get your tetanus shot. But just like that, that is the abandoned Adelman mine. A lot of cool history. Super cool to come up, see it, and explore, and just know that this has been around for over 100 years. It's pretty cool to see that it's still standing most of the way, and most of the stuff is here. So pretty cool just to come up here and see this and know that at one point it was a bustling mine, people getting gold and stuff like that. And before the mine was collapsed, I bet it was cool in there. And just cool to see this kind of stuff around. And there are actually a lot of abandoned mines all over the country and in this area as well, which is really cool. So maybe we'll check some more out in the future, but this one's just a really cool one because of how complete it is and how much is still here. So really cool to come up here and explore it. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with us, and we're gonna get headed back down the trail. So let's do it. Just on our way down, and we found one of these crickets, which I'll try to get my hand in there for scale. It's about 3 inches long. That's a full meal right there. Big old spike out the back. Pretty crazy to see. If you like this video, make sure to check out the Outdoor Cowboy YouTube channel. We've got new videos every week, survival adventures, camping projects, tool restorations, and a whole bunch more. Hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.